And welcome to Morning Coach today. I am so glad you're with us. Hey, it's JB. It's May 27, 2024, and we are ready to get into episode 5344. I hope you're having a great one. That's the longest I've held the good morning in a long time. You know, back when I started years ago, Matt Kramer, who's vocal coach, singer of Saigon Kick, was my vocal coach. He said, we should record a good morning and an intro and make it, this kind of good morning thing and do it the same every time. And then we talked a little more and we're like, no, let's change it up every day. I mean, it's hard to do this, 300 and some times a year, with Dr. Paul and other people jumping in, but, to change it up a little bit in the morning so you're getting a little bit different energy. And every once in a while I come with that good morning. That's kind of what I'm known for. Back when we used to do these big events, I would get, everybody say, do the good morning. And I'd be so shy and embarrassed, but then we would do it. And we would put that out there. So truthfully, good morning to you. I'm glad you're here. If you're a first-time listener, welcome. If you've been with me for years, welcome. I'm glad you're a part of this. As always, as we get ready to start Monday, let's do our metaphysical morning ritual. Let's make sure we take time for self-care. Obviously, you're listening to the Coach Cast. We got to get those 7 P's in order. Have the right perspective this morning, knowing that you can change what you want to change and do what you want to do. Set those priorities. Really critical. We have priorities today. That's one of our key things. Let's work on our performance, getting better at the things that we do constantly. Have patience. If you're new here, that's one of the things you got to be really patient with. We've got a lot of things going on, and you just got to jump in. Take it day by day. You will get it. Just hang in there with us, okay? Keep great posture. Get those shoulders back right now. Let's get them back as you're listening to this. If you're working out, great. Stay present in the moment, and then persist. Stick with it day by day, and you will have tremendous results as we continue to move forward. This week, I got a great week. We're ending the month. Pretty crazy to think we're already moving into June. It's just amazing how fast the years go, and that's why we're hanging in there together every day, but it does go fast, right? And so as we conclude May, let's make sure we work on our relationships here. That's the key of May, and it's the last week to check your plan. Meaning, if you're new, you should have a base plan in place. The basics are, a few projects that you're working on and the priorities that you're going to work on. That's the basic. For those of you that are advanced, you should be, obviously have your mission in place, be looking at your values, make sure everything's in alignment and things are moving forward in those areas, okay? We've got this week to kind of get it done, and then we're just back to work the next few months. Really important in our structure that you're doing that. Again, I don't care what planner you're using. When we come back to our metaphysical morning ritual, getting into that planner, whatever that is for you, whatever that looks like. I'm been testing the new iPad, so I'm trying some new things out. Getting that organized is really important, okay? So whatever that is for you, let's make sure we've got that rolling. And then, as we get through the check, we're now going to be working on massive friendships today. That's what we're going to talk about today, building massive friendships. I got some tips. And then we're going to have a great week. We're going to end Sir's book, Mike Lee Canarix. Hopefully you enjoyed the interview last week. That was a lot of fun to do. Tomorrow, and then Wednesday, we're going to do they clap when you're winning? That's a key thing. I want to make sure you get the points there. On Thursday, I got to ask JB, I keep getting this question from a few people, and this is about relationships, but I'm also going to talk about friendships, and that is, how come I keep attracting the wrong people? For those of you that are dealing with those issues, we're going to rock that. Friday, we got how much do you give and boundaries when you're dealing with friends? That's a financial one we're going to get into. Sunday, we got Dr. Paul. He's been doing a hormone series, pretty cool stuff. If you're into health, I think you're enjoying it. I love that he comes in and brings some good energy. And then Sunday, we've got fellowship and the importance of the tribe. And we're going to talk about kind of a spiritual concept with that as we continue to go forward. Also, for those of you that are looking for some of our private things that we got going on, I've got a manifestation group going that's really a part of your Morning Coach membership that's fun. And then outside of that, we have retreats and we have our mastermind. I'm really excited about our masterminds growing. We're getting ready to get a second group going. We've got amazing people in there all over the world. Those are things you can reach out and we can have a discussion about. And again, like I said, there's a couple that are, obviously part of what we're doing, and then there's some that are external that are a little more involved. We've got a lot of that happening, and if you need a little more, help or structure, just reach out to us, info@morningcoach.com, and we can, have the discussion about those things. But today we're talking about building massive friendships, and I'm very blessed to have friends all over the world. And one of the reasons I started Morning Coach was because of that. And I've been able to meet people, literally all over the world because of Morning Coach. And right now we've got members all over the world. And I consider those to be friends. I do understand there are acquaintances, but as you get into this more and more, as I do, and I put this out there, you become friends. Karen, John, there's so many people, Jurgen, Vitas, there's so many people that I've got friends, Nick, I can go through the list, Nicole, and just Roxanne, and I could just keep going and going and going. Charles is new. I've built so many cool friendships through this, but it's hard, to really connect with people and really understand what that friendship truly is, because you have acquaintances. Those are people that you know, and then true friends. And what it comes down to me is who cares about you. And when we were on the golf course the other day, and, I've been out of town in a long time, and to come back in town, I've really had an impact on a lot of people. And the reason is I do things a little bit differently. I come in and I look for the good in others. So I actually care, and I really do care. It's one of our values, creating certainty for you and caring about you are two things that are really important. And when you really care, you take interest in others. And you get out of ego and you try to find some common ground or something that they're doing that you can take interest in. And people are really looking for validation. There's so many people that don't do that. Like, just go into any environment where there's a party or people are together, and the majority of the conversation is negative, whether it's the political stuff, whether it's other people, they talk about, significant other. It's amazing how negative people can become. And so I have always been the person that's come into the relationship and tried to break that up immediately. I think about even my dating relationships from years ago, 30, 40 years ago. I've been able to maintain a positive relationship with almost every person that's been in my life. The only people I haven't is people that have kind of hurt me, and I've just stepped away from them. I don't even think they exist. So if somebody kind of betrays me or does something that isn't authentic and real, I just step back and I just let them go. And I know you can't do that with family, but you definitely could do that with friends. So be the positive one. And I think that's where, if you hear people talking about other people, find the good in other people. We had a guy that we were golfing with, and the guy I was golfing with was, talking all this stuff about him. I said, but there's good qualities too. Let's talk about the things he does right. Let's look at the focus on those things. And just as we've been talking all month, that's how you start to build really great relationships, because people want to be around people like that. And you might not think when you're talking about somebody else and you're like, oh, what are they wearing? Or what do they do? I can't believe they do that. I can't believe they live in their life like that. I can't be that. They're listening too. And if you're talking back and forth and creating that energy, they're going, I wonder if they talk about me this way. But if you're enlightened and positive and, focused on the good, all of a sudden, they say, wow, maybe this person is a good person. And it changes the whole dynamic. And I don't know if that's my Midwest upbringing, because Midwesterners tend to be a little nicer. I've got a lot of New Yorker friends that are pretty, just call it, say it what it is, but they still have big hearts. Sir, for example, as we're finishing his book, he can be a real SOB. He is one bad dude. You do not want to get on his bad time. But he's got the biggest heart in the world. And I think most people inherently are good, but you got to show them. Like Sir, for example, being adopted, and then being raised and being in the Israeli military, it was tough for me to build a relationship with him. But now I consider him a brother, like not even friends. Like it's even beyond that. We would do so much for each other. So once you understand that, you can be the positive one, and you can push people forward. We're going to talk about that on Wednesday when we talk about, do they clap when you're winning? And that's when you're going to start to see what true friends are. The other thing you have to do is you have to be authentic. We see this in a lot of younger people, and I know I was that way when I was younger, but the vulnerability of people, just because you're vulnerable doesn't mean you're weak. And I think that's really important. That's one of the things I took away from training with Sir. I'm very vulnerable, and I don't care. I don't care because I'm very strong. And when I have my weakness, I don't mind sharing it. I don't, especially my friends, because they know they'll pick me up, and they know I'm strong enough to handle the feedback, and they know I can continue to move forward. So you're not weak when you're vulnerable. A lot of people say, oh, I'm weak because I'm vulnerable. That's not true. If you're still strong in spirit and you're strong mentally, and that's why you're here every day, and you're really in a strong space, there's absolutely nothing wrong to go to friends and ask for help, right? And say, hey, I need this help in this particular area. In fact, when you do that and you can create that circle, it's unbelievable how you can really change someone's life because you're the person that's there. I know I was really intense a couple Wednesdays ago because I have people in town and that are coming to me, which I've never had this before, that are literally changing their lives, whether it's drinking or some negative things they've had, and they're focused on the right things. And that's why, if you've noticed, I've been putting more energy out there, and I thank you. Because if you weren't here and being a Morning Coach member, I couldn't have the impact that we're starting to have. But I'm realizing how important this message is. Like, it's bigger than me. It's bigger than all of us. The world needs this energy and these ideas because it really can change the world. And if we can hold that vision to changing the world to more peace and more structure and more organization and people working together, we can do that together. I'm seeing it as a microcosm in the city here that I am, how the ripple effects are starting to happen. Parents are starting to change a little bit, come up to me and said, hey, JB, I need some help. Just this week, I had 2 people come up to me and say, hey, I need a little bit of help. Can you give me some guidance in these areas? To me, that says so much because I'm living the life. Have I always? No, I fall down. But if we can just try to care a little more and try to bring that energy and see the positive in others, then we're good. And then be authentic, be vulnerable in yourself. Don't be so egoic in the things that you do and worry about what people think. I mean, it's like, I think it's this training that we got in school. We have to please the teacher. We have to please the professor. We have to write for the professor. We have to write for the teacher. Truth is, we don't have to do any of that. There's a lot of people making money that aren't impressing others. And it's not about impressing. It's about going out there and providing value and being real and being authentic. The other thing is about setting boundaries. You hear me talk about this a lot, but fences make great neighbors and boundaries make good friendships. You can't be afraid to say somebody they're stepping over the line. And again, you're vulnerable, you're authentic, and you're able to do that when you bring that energy. Okay? Walk softly, carry big stick. We've talked about that before. Know when you need to communicate, know when you need to step up, understand body language, understand what somebody's really saying, and listen. You got 2 ears and 1 mouth. Active listening will change your life. If you become an active listener, you can actually hear what people are saying. And it's not just about hearing. It's about listening and understanding. And when you have that empathy, and when you can see that, it's literally going to change lives around you, especially for you that are parents, right? For your children, if you can really hear what they're saying. I mean, there's so many people that are just talking and nobody's listening. And so we want to do that. So set boundaries. And then it's really critical. You don't have to please everyone. You're not Walmart, okay? You don't have to keep people in your life that aren't there, that aren't at that level. I have people always wanting to get into my life. My mom says, but people want you around. And I say, I know that. But I don't want to be around them. I'm very introverted, meaning introverted, I need to get energy away from people. When I'm around people, I feel the energy. And so I'll tell people, I have no problem with this. If you're around me, I'll say, I don't need more friends. I really don't. I have enough friends. And some people take offense to that. I don't care because I have enough friends and I care and I love them. Now, if you want to be my friend, then you better take me out on a date, meaning you better bring it. What do you have to offer? What are the value you're going to bring? Just because you're there and you're entitled doesn't mean that I'm going to be your friend. In fact, more than likely, I won't be because I have enough friends. And so when you have that ability to go out there and live your life and care and put that energy out there, you're not going to have an issue finding friends. And then you just got to keep the boundaries and understand who's a true friend and who's an acquaintance. And the acquaintances don't need to be in your world. That's not who you get vulnerable with. So as Sir taught us in the book that we're doing, if they're drainers and maintainers, those people aren't friends, okay? You need propellers in your life. The people that we're going to talk about Wednesday that are clapping when you're winning, that's who you got to surround yourself with. And as you do that, life will get better. Now, there is one aspect that a few of you need to hear, and that's that aspect of getting famous. And it's challenging. When you get a little bit of fame or internet fame, people want to be around you. And I think it's really critical to humble and appreciate fans, but again, having the boundaries, because some people will just step over them. They don't listen to this. They've never been taught this. And so you've got to have fences, and you got to have them around you at all times so hey, you're not my friend. I have to do it in business. Look, I build business and I love people. Karen, John, everybody I've mentioned, people have been with me for years and years and years. Nicole's been with me almost 19 years. But I have to have boundaries. Okay, they're friends, but then there's a business aspect of it, and there's got to be a line, and they understand that. And I got to tell you, in my past, some people have stepped over that, and I won't allow it anymore. That's on me, not on them. Okay? Remember, if people are pushing your buttons, you put them there to be pushed. If people are stepping over the boundaries, you did not draw the line or build the boundary big enough. So let's focus on that today, because massive friendships are awesome. When you have great friends, I mean, you don't have to worry about anything. I mean, it's awesome. You have people that are in your corner. And I've been very fortunate to build friendships because why? I care. And when you care, then all of a sudden they start caring. Remember, people don't really care about what you know. They care about how much you care. And once people understand you do care, your life will change. You'll have friends all over the world, and true friends, not acquaintances. All right, let's get out there and have a great one. I love you. We're going to rock and roll this week, finishing the book tomorrow here on Morning Coach, and then we're going to continue progressing forward. It is a great time to be alive. Get out there, have some fun, and I'll be back with you tomorrow right here on MorningCoach.com.